Hello students, welcome back to the economics class of plus 2 standard. Today we will start with lesson number 5, supply and elasticity of supply. In this chapter you will learn about meaning of supply, difference between supply and stock, factors affecting supply and supply function, law of supply, change in supply, causes that lead to changes in supply, and elasticity of supply. Today we will cover the topics meaning of supply, difference between supply and stock, factors affecting supply and supply function, and law of supply. Supply analysis. In this chapter there are different commodities like eatables, snacks, shoes, dresses, fruits, cars, washing machine, fans, AC, coolers. Number of other commodities are there in the market that are used by the consumers, that is the person who is using the things, to satisfy their wants. These commodities are supplied by the supplier. Supply or intended supply refers to the quantity of a commodity offered for sale at different prices during a given time period. Supply of a commodity is influenced by a number of factors like price of a commodity, price of other commodities, price of related commodities, etc. These are known as determinants of supply. By putting together the various determinants, we construct the supply function. As the price of the commodity will rise, the supply of that commodity will also rise. Quantity supplied bears a direct relationship to the price of a commodity. This is what the law of supply states. Elasticity of supply is the responsiveness of quantity supplied to a change in the price of a commodity. Let us discuss some important key terms related to the topic. First one is commodity, perishable, non-durable commodities, durable commodities, time dimension, producer, supply or intended supply, stock, increase in supply, elasticity of supply, composite supply, and supply function. First one is commodity. Students, commodity means the various goods like cars, benches, fan, pen, copy, tube, lights, scooters, washing machine, eatables, pencil, pen, copies, etc., which can satisfy our wants, that is known as commodities. Perishable commodity or non-durable commodities. Green leafy vegetables, milk and milk products, cooked food, fish, etc. All these are non-durable commodities or perishable commodities. So, perishable commodities or non-durable commodities are those commodities which cannot be stored for a longer time period, or you can say that which we have to consume within 24 hours. Durable commodities. Furniture, gold, rice, wheat, pulses, grams, electronic appliances, etc. are called durable goods. So the durable goods or the durable commodities are the goods that can be stored for a longer time period. Time dimension. Mahindra and Mahindra supplies 700 tractors a day. Sonam supplies 1000 woolen sweaters per week. Khanna paper mill supply 2 lakh bundles of papers per month. So the time dimension means duration of time when the supply of a product per day, per week, per month or per year it is given. That is known as time dimension, means length of a time. Producer. Mr. Mittal of Sonalika International Tractors Limited produces 700 tractors a day. In Reliance India Limited, Mr. Mukesh Ambani and Mr. Anil Ambani produces 1 lakh packs of silk yarn per week. So the producer is a person who involves in the activities of conversion of raw material like cotton, leather, etc. into finished goods like cotton clothes, leather shoes, etc. Supply or intended supply. Maruti Suzuki can produce 1 lakh or 10 lakh cars during a year at price rupees 3 lakh each, but ready to sell only 9 lakh cars in the market. That is known as supply. Peter England can produce 50,000 shirts in a month at price rupees 1,000 each, but ready to sell only 45,000 shirts in the market. So, supply or intended supply is a desired quantity, that how much quantity of a commodity producers or firms are willing to sell at different prices during a given period of time, like per day, per month, per annum. Or supply is a part of a stock that a producer wants to sell at a particular price during a given period of time. Supply of a commodity is always at a price. Stock. A producer has produced 400 hammers. 400 hammers is the stock of hammers with him. He may be willing to offer for sale 100 hammers at the rate of rupees 100 per hammer, 120 hammers at rupees 220 each, and 150 hammers at rupees 350 each, and so on. In this case, the stock is 400 hammers, but the supply of hammers is different at different prices. So, the stock refers to the total quantity of a commodity available with the seller at any given time period. Let's take another example to understand the word stock. Immediately after harvest, a farmer acquires a large stock of crop. From the harvest, he has collected 100 sacks of rice. In this period, the price of rice was only rupees 3,000 per sack. Means price tends to be low. The farmer holds back his stock and offers only 25 sacks of rice in the market at a price rupees 3,000 per sack. He doesn't offer all his stock. As the price of rice goes up to rupees 3,500, he offers 30 sacks of rice. When the price goes up to rupees 4,000 per sack, he offers the remaining stock of rice for sale. In this case, stock is 100 sacks of rice, but the supply of sacks of rice is different at different price levels. So, the stock refers to the total quantity of a commodity that can be brought into the market for sale at a short notice at any given time. Next term is increase in supply. We were taking the example of iron industry. Production per day, that is 300 pieces at a price of rupees 2,000 each. So total stock, that is 300 pieces of iron, and supply per day, that is 100 pieces. Stock left, it is 200 pieces. After 2 months, when the price of electrical appliances increased, the industry offered 200 units of iron at a price of rupees 2,500 each per day. So, increase in supply due to increase in price. Elasticity of supply. Suppose a seller of potatoes sells 80 quintals a day when the price of potatoes is rupees 4 per kg. The elasticity of supply of potato, it is known to be 2. How much quantity will this seller supply when the price rises to rupees 5 per kg? Now we are having quantity that a seller of potatoes sells, that is 80 quintals. Now we will convert these quintals into kg. We will multiply 80 with 100. So quantity of potatoes, that is 8000 kg, and price, that is rupees 4 per kg, and P1, that is the changed price, that is rupees 5. At that time, how much quantity of a seller has to sell in the market? So we will take here, that is delta Q, we don't know what is the change in quantity. Next one is delta P, change in price we know, that is new price it is 5 and old price it was 4. So 5 minus 4, it is equals to 1. Delta Q upon delta P, that is delta P value we have filled here 1, multiplied by P, that is price, rupees 4 per kg of potatoes. 4 upon quantity which was sold at price rupees 4 per kg, that is 8000 kg. Now we are having delta Q upon 1 multiplied by 4 upon 8000, it is equals to 2. 2 is the elasticity of supply that is already given to us. So delta Q, it is equals to 2 multiplied by 8000 divided by 4. Keeping the delta Q on the same side and transfer the rest to this side. 2 multiplied with 8000 divided by 4, you will get delta Q, it is equals to 16,000 divided by 4. 4 4s are 16, so 4000, it is a delta Q, that means 40 quintals. So from here we can calculate how much quantity he has increased for selling purpose at the increased price of rupees 5, that is 80, the previous plus change, that is 40 quintals, means 80 plus 40 is equals to 120 quintal. So at price rupees 5, the potato seller will sell 120 quintals of potatoes at price rupees 5 per kg. So elasticity of supply refers to the responsiveness of quantity supplied to a change in the price of a commodity. Or you can say that elasticity of supply refers to the percentage change in the quantity supplied of a commodity due to change in its own price. Composite supply. Let's understand it with the help of example like handset, mobile, battery, SIM. All these things are required for a handset. In the same way, for computer we need monitor, CPU, keyboard, mouse. Only then the computer will work. So these are the examples of composite supply. So composite supply occurs when two or more products are used for one purpose. Next one is market supply schedule. In the market supply schedule, we will take two firms, firm A and firm B. The price of tea per packet, it is given, that is rupees 2, rupees 3, rupees 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Means price, it is continuously increasing. So we have to discuss how this increased price will affect the quantity supplied by the different firms in the market. When the price of tea per packet was rupees 2, the firm A was supplied 10 packets and firm B was supplied 5 packets. At price rupees 3, firm A supplied increased to 20 packets and firm B supplied increase to 15 packets. In the same way, with the increase in the price, the firm A also increasing the supply of tea packets and firm B also increasing the supply of tea packets. So we have to calculate the total supply in the market by both these firms. What we will do, we will add the supply of both the firms. 10 plus 5, 15. 20 plus 15 will give you 35. 28 plus 23 will give you 51. 35 plus 30 will give you 65. In this way you can calculate the total supply of tea packets in the market. So this is known as total supply in the market. So market supply schedule is a tabular statement stating the units of a commodity offered for sale at different prices during a time period. Next one is supply curve, graphical representation of market supply schedule. Market supply curve, using the previous table we have marked these points. So market supply curve, firstly I have taken the data of firm A that at price rupees 1 per packet the supply of firm was 10 packets of tea, and at price rupees 2 per packet the supply of firm was 20 packets of a tea. In this way I have joined all these points and get a upward sloping supply curve for firm A. In the same way for firm B I have marked the points and I got this curve. Next one is when I have added the supply quantity supplied by both the firms, I have marked the points for firm A and firm B and get this upward sloping supply curve, that is known as market supply curve. This is the individual supply curve for firm A and this is the individual supply curve for firm B. But after the addition of the supply of tea by both the firms, I have got market supply curve. So supply curve illustrates the direct relationship between the price of a commodity and quantity offered for sale. Direct relationship means when there is increase in the prices for tea, the supply of the tea will also increase. So when there is increase in the price of a commodity, the supply of that commodity will also increase. So there is direct relationship between the price and quantity supplied. Supply function. Supply function refers to a set of determinants. Price of a commodity, set of determinants means price of a commodity, like we will take tea. Price of a tea. Price of related goods like coffee. Technological changes like landline phones and cell phones. Taxes like income tax, GST, etc. of the supply of commodity. These are the determinants. So which are the determinants? Price of the commodity, price of the related commodity, technological changes and taxes. So these are the mathematical expressions of the relationship between supply and those factors that affect the willingness and ability of a supplier to offer goods for sale. So the supply function is a functional relationship between the quantity supplied of a commodity and factors affecting it. So which factors are affecting the supply of a commodity? That is price of the commodity. If the price of the commodity will be higher, then the supplier will supply more commodity. Next one is if the price of the related commodity like substitute good, coffee, it is increased, then the supplier will increase the supply of coffee packets. And if the taxes was imposed heavily on the tea, at that time also the supplier will change its decision and shift to the substitute goods. So these are the factors that can change the mindset of the supplier. Supply function, all the determinants like price of a commodity like wheat, it was rupees 20 per kg, and price of the related commodity. For example, if the price of wheat goes up from rupees 20 to rupees 25, the land will be put under cultivation of wheat instead of pulses, because with the higher prices, the higher the supply by the supplier for that particular commodity in order to increase the profit. So prices of the factors of production. Factors of production, like if land it is costlier in order to the rent, means if the household will charge higher rent for the use of land by the supplier, and the wages that is demanded by the laborers are also higher, use of machinery or the interest on the finance it is higher, and entrepreneur's profit it is higher, then the supply or the price of the product will also be higher, and cost of production will also be higher. And in order to increase the profit margin, the supplier will charge higher prices from the customers. Next one is goals of the producer. Goals of the producer is to earn the maximum profit. That's why he will charge higher prices in order to increase the profit margin. Next one is state of technology. Change of technology like mobile phones, computers, washing machine, etc. Next one is law of supply. Suppose the prices of fast track watches increase from rupees 2000 to rupees 2500 per watch. The supply will also increase from 10,000 watches to 15,000 watches in the market, and vice versa. So the law of supply states that there is a direct relationship between the price of a commodity and its quantity supplied. If the price of a commodity increased, then the supply will also be increased. Law of supply states that quantity supply is directly related to its price. Other things being constant, other things like price of the related commodity, price of the other goods like flour, vegetable, furniture, and the state of technology like labor intensive technology or the capital intensive technology, goals of the producer, that remains the same. If the price of a tea increased from rupees 120 per kg to rupees 150 per kg, and the price of coffee remains the same, that is at rupees 120 per kg, then the supply of tea will increase. So direct relationship between quantity supplied and price of the commodity. Lower the price, the smaller the quantity will be supplied. Higher the price, the greater the quantity supplied. So this is all about the law of supply, in which only price of the commodity can fluctuate, but other things like price of the related commodity, price of the other commodities, and the state of technology and goals of producer remains the same. Relationship between price and other factors of production. If the price of wheat goes up, the land will be put under cultivation of wheat instead of the pulses. So the supply of wheat will increase and supply of pulses will fall. So the price and the commodity, higher the price of the commodity like tea, the producer will produce more quantities for sale in the market. Next one is relationship between price of the related commodity, means substitute goods. Supply of the commodity also depend upon the price of the related commodity, especially substitute goods like tea and coffee, jaggery and sugar. These are the substitute goods. Vodafone and Idea. So if the price of the substitute goods, suppose coffee goes up producer will be tempted to produce more coffee in order to increase the profit margin. Next one is relationship between price of the factors of production. If the price of land will rise, then producer will not expand the plant size and ultimately the supply will reduce. If the prices of land, labor, capital and entrepreneur goes up, its total cost of production may rise, and due to the increase in the cost of production, the supply will fall. Means higher cost of production will adversely affect the supply of that particular commodity. Next one is goals of producer. Every firm tries to attain maximum profit, but at times individual producers may be induced to increase the supply of a commodity, not because it brings profit for them, but because its supply in the market is a source of status and prestige in the market. Next one is state of technology. New photostating technique, printing technique, computerized calculations, etc. Such advancement will lower the marginal cost at each level of output. So discoveries and innovations help in raising the productivity of the factors and thus contribute to the raising of the supply upwards. Next one is government policies. Government policies also influence the supply of a product. Suppose the government has imposed taxes on the purchase of washing machine and AC. Now the seller will raise the price of washing machine and AC in order to increase the profit margin. Government may impose sales tax, now GST is there, on the sale value of the product sold by the seller. The seller has to pay this tax to the government. To keep the profit margin, the seller may sell the quantity at a higher prices than before. Alternatively, if the government gives subsidy like ration shops, petroleum, LPG, raw material to the firms, etc., to the seller on the sales value of the product, then the seller sells the same quantity at a lower price than before, and the seller can supply more at the old price level. Next one is natural factors. Supply of the agricultural goods to a great extent depends upon the natural conditions like adequate rain, fertility of land, irrigation facilities, climatic conditions help in raising the supply of agricultural produce and vice versa. It means of transportations and communications. Next is proper development of means of transportation and communication helps in maintaining adequate supply of the commodities. Short supply of goods and services can be rushed from surplus areas to the deficient areas like doctors in the villages, sugarcane in the hilly areas, eatables, etc. But if the developed means of transportation are used to export goods, it will create deficiency of goods in the domestic market. When India was exporting onions to Pakistan, then the prices of onions in the Indian markets were high. The reason was deficiency of onions in the Indian markets. Next one is taxation policy. Imposition of heavy taxes on the custom on furniture, custom on shoes, jewelry, etc. The commodity discourages its production and its supply diminishes, and vice versa. Because heavy taxation means cost of production will increase, and due to the increased cost of production, the supply will be adversely affected. Next one is further expectations of rise in price. If the producer expects an increase in the price in the future, that is in the month of October, the price of wheat, rice, pulses, woolen clothes, jewelry, etc., they will curtail the current supply and offer more goods in the month of October at a higher prices. Next one is agreement among the producers. The producers of a commodity form their association to earn profit. It motivates them to create artificial scarcity of the commodity. Artificial scarcity is hoarding of sugar, wheat, pulses, gold, silver, etc. And in this way they can sell or supply a smaller quantity of a commodity in the market at a higher prices in order to increase their profit margins. Concepts of supply. Immediately after the harvest, farmers have a large stock of his crop. In this period, the price tends to be low. They hold back his stocks. As the price of the commodity goes up, the farmers offer more stock for the sale in the market. It happens with the wheat. In the month of April and May, the prices of wheat is lesser, and in the month of October, November and December, the prices of wheat is increased. Now next one is differentiation points. First one is definition, supply and stock. Supply, it is the quantity of a commodity offered for sale by a producer at different prices during a given period of time. Like I have given you the example of wheat. In the month of April and May, the prices of wheat is lesser because of large stock of wheat in the market. And in the month of October, November, December, there is shortage of stock in the market, so there is high prices charged by the shopkeepers. Definition of stock. The total quantity of a commodity available with the seller that can be brought in the market for sale at short notice at any given price. Like stock of wheat in the month of April and May and stock of wheat in the months of October, November and December. Next one is quantity. Differentiation between supply and stock on the basis of quantity. The part of the stock which a seller offers for a sale at any price at a given time is called supply. Stock, it is not necessary that the seller may offer the whole of its stock of the commodity for sale at the given price at any given time. Next one is time dimensions. Supply has time dimensions, say per day, per time, per month. Stock has no time dimensions. At any time from the stock we can sell a part of the stock in the market at a short notice. Revenue. Supply enables a firm to get revenue from sale, and stock enables a firm to take advantage of an unexpected rise in the market demand. Joint supply and composite supply. Let's understand joint supply with the help of example. Like from milk, there is a curd, lassi, butter. So there is a joint supply of all these commodities from milk. In the same way, from petroleum there is a supply of diesel, petrol and Vaseline, etc. So these are the examples of joint supply. So joint supply is the relation where two or more products are obtained at the same time in a single production process. Next one is joint supply is also called joint costs, because where two or more commodities are produced together, their cost of production cannot be entirely separated. Like from milk there is a butter also, there is a supply of yogurt also, there is a supply of milk chocolate also, there is a supply of cheese also. In the same way, from sheep there is a supply of sheepskin, wool and mutton. Next one is supply function. Supply of a commodity, it is influenced by a number of factors. These are known as determinants of supply. All these factors put together is called supply function. So a supply function can be stated as Sn, it is equals to f of Pn, Pr, F, T and G, where Pn, it is the price of a commodity, PR is the price of related commodity. Suppose we take the example of tea and coffee. Price of nth commodity, that is tea. Price of related commodity, that is coffee. F is the price of the factors of production like land, labor, capital and enterprise. T is the technology like labor intensive or capital technology. And G is the taxes or the objectives of the producers. So supply function describes the functional relationship between the supply of a commodity and other determinants of supply, that is price of a commodity Pn like tea, price of related commodity, that is PR, that is tea and coffee. Related commodities means substitute goods. Substitute goods means when we can shift to the other commodities with an ease that can give us the same satisfaction level as the previous one. So price of the factors of production, that is land, labor and capital and enterprise. Technical know-how and objectives of the producers, that is profit motive. Law of supply, grammatically we will discuss. The supply and price relationship shows an upward slope. Like on the y-axis I have taken price of a tea and on the x-axis I have taken quantity supplied. When the price of tea was rupees 2 per packet, the supply in the market was 10 packets of a tea. And when the price increased from 2 to 3 rupees per packet, the supply also increased from 10 to 20 packets. In the same way, at price rupees 4 per packet of a tea, the supply was increased from 20 to 30. And after joining these points, we have got a upward sloping straight line showing a positive relationship between price of a tea and quantity supplied. So this means that higher the price, higher is the quantity supplied. At price rupees 2, supply was 10 packets and producer supply more at a higher price, because selling a higher quantity at a higher prices increase the revenue to the producer. The law of supply explains a positive relationship between price of a commodity and quantity supplied. Other things remaining the same. Other things means only the price of a commodity can change, but the price of the substitute goods, profit motive of the producer and taxation policy remains the same. No changes can be there. So in the table, as the price rises from 2 to 3 rupees, quantity supplied also increase from 10 kg to 20 kg. Price and supply are directly related with each other. With the increase in price of a tea, quantity supplied in the market also increased. A rise in the price induces producers to supply more quantity of a commodity in order to increase the revenue and vice versa. Supply schedule and supply curve. A supply schedule is a tabular statement that gives a full account of supply of a commodity in a given market at a given time. Supply schedule is of two types. First one is individual supply schedule and second one is market supply schedule. Students, hope you all have understood the topic of law of supply. Next we will continue from the topic of individual and market supply schedule. Now it's time to note down the homework. Question number 1 is define the following terms with examples like commodity, perishable commodities, law of supply, stock, supply, supply curve, supply function, supply schedule. Second question is distinguish between stock and supply with examples, joint supply and composite supply. Explain the supply function. Question number 4, how do the different factors affect the supply? And question number 5 is by which factors is the market supply affected? Explain. And students, please go through the links on the YouTube also for more clarity, and hope you all will complete your written notes in the fair copies for better learning. Thank you students for listening.